we are green in Atlanta.
You know, we saw in the truck race that inside restart lane was the preferred lane. Jeff Burton actually did a great job not spinning the tires and not losing any spots. I think he's going to settle in second or third right here. So that was really big, especially when the choose rule came into effect on restarts of who chose the bottom lane or who chose the top.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's interesting. You know, here this track's so hard on tires, but you saw the 10 really, wow, get real tight with the 20 there, but you really saw him work his tires in for that start, and I wonder how much that played into his good launch.
That wasn't any family love right there.
No, that was tight for lap one.
That was like fighting for the second helping of turkey at Thanksgiving, right?
That's right.
Saw Brett Moffitt for a minute working that outside lane. There he is in the 0-2 for Our Motorsports, one of two drivers in this race that also ran earlier today in that Camping World Truck Series event. Fourth right now was top 10 earlier this afternoon.
You know, Brett, he has, experience just from an hour ago, running that truck race. He has logged laps. And how about Brandon Brown with a great, finish last week, running third right now? That's just awesome to see for that team.
That's why you want to finish strong. I mean, you always want a good finish, but it carries over now because of the way we set the lineup. So Brown leaves there with a career high in Phoenix, and he knows he's going to be starting in the top 5 today. Great story for this single car effort. He's out of Virginia.
Speaking of top 5, look who's moving already. Martin Truex Jr. is on the march forward. He's already moving up in 1 and 2, finding that clean air, using that momentum to get to the inside of these cars he's running down and get the preferred line through 3 and 4.
You guys are the experts. 18th to 5th in 4 laps. Is that pretty good?
Yeah, he's moving.
He does that to us on the Cup side sometimes, so I figured he was going to do it here too, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I guess he's knocking the rust off. He would be leading if he had run more than one race in the last 15 years or so. Trying to chase down now the 68 of Brandon Brown. We talked about him. Austin Cindric has jumped out. He's got an 0.8 of a second lead over second place Harrison Burton. And Truex not the only guy on the move. Plus 14 for the 9 of Noah Gragson. Blew an engine last week, so he didn't have a great starting position in today's race.
No, so that's, for the 9 car, Noah Gragson, you really will see how your car's going to handle in traffic, right? What it's going to take to pass cars. It's going to take a while for him to get the track position up that he needs to. But all he has to do right now is before the comp caution, just get as many spots as you can, really focus on what your car's doing and how you can adjust. I doubt it'll come with the comp caution, but really just how you're going to adjust here for the first stage.
Yeah, and two, I mean, you never want to go too hard on your tires at a racetrack like Atlanta, but with this comp caution coming at lap 20, I feel like you have a little bit more room to play around and find out what you got underneath you and what's going to cost you.
Truex around his teammate Harrison Burton. The 54 is now second, and it won't be long, I've got to believe, before he is out front. This is an incredible display from a Cup champion. He's a 2-time champion here in the Xfinity Series. And his talent on full display to the outside for the lead off of turn 2. There goes Truex.
Yeah, using that line that we saw him use a lot in that Cup race here last year. Loves running that, straddling that top seam in 1 and 2.
So that was pretty impressive. And obviously, Martin Truex's car fires off great. I'm curious to see what it does in 20 laps. If we get a long run, usually you see cars fire off this fast, and they might not be great after 15 or 20 laps. So I'll be really curious to see where that car is as we get later and later into a run.
I would say this isn't surprising from the standpoint of you look at what they've done this year with other drivers. Now, Ty Dillon is experienced. He's had no luck. But the complete other end of the spectrum is Ty Gibbs. He's raced that car twice, and his average finish 1.5. Won on the road course at Daytona, second place last week in Phoenix, and after dropping back a bit, Justin Haley gets back by Myatt Snyder. And also in the picture there, the 51 of Jeremy Clements. Great start to the year for them. He's 8th.
Yeah, this track is just one of those that, you can drive the daylights out of it, and Jeremy's definitely one of those guys. He's off to a good start here today.
We're just about halfway to our competition caution. 9 laps in at Atlanta. Martin Truex Jr. from 18th to the lead.
especially when the Xfinity car, man, you get on the side of somebody, you can really make the car loose. In Atlanta, especially because this racetrack has low grip, so you're already sliding around. You get a car against your door, it can make that inside car loose and, quite frankly, take out both cars. Unfortunately, I'm sure at some point they're going to have to repave this place, but gosh, I think if you ask every competitor in NASCAR, they don't want that because it is fun. It wears out tires. Cars are sliding around. It's fun to drive.
No doubt nothing needs to be changed right now for the Dinger. Started in the back after inspection problems. Was scheduled to start third. He's up 21 positions and now running 18th. What do you guys think of his assessment on Atlanta Motor Speedway?
I think he's pretty accurate on hopefully they don't repave this place anytime soon. You know, it's just such a great racetrack to where it's so challenging for the drivers. And he was right on the running side by side. You put it on someone's door, you're already loose enough as is here, and there's little grip. And if you do that, you have a chance to wreck both of you guys.
And while we were away, you know, this is surprising to me, but Austin Cindric drifting, and a moment here with he in the 22 and the 2 of Myatt Snyder, Jeremy Clements there as well.
Yeah, just a really tough spot to be in if you're Myatt Snyder. You're trying to fill that hole, take advantage of the position, but yeah, that little slide you saw there, it may not look like much, but that's a penalty that you'll pay for the rest of this run. Every slide on these tires, Ryan, just kills the grip you have in your car.
Cindric started on the pole, 5th now, Jamie.
Yeah, you guys talk about what is going on with the 22. He's already slipped back to 5th. He said his right rear is already upset at him. He burned it up. It's overheated now after trying to hold off the 54. And a little note on the 54. The 22 crew chief, Brian Wilson, told me this morning he was really curious to see what Martin Truex Jr. was going to do. He said, that 54 car is our carrot all year long. Well, they learn real quick in 7 laps.
Yeah, got a little work to do if they're going to run with a 54 today. And as we watch Team Penske in the 22 running 5th and maybe not where they would like to be, I remind you of this. The captain has never won here in the Xfinity Series.
You know, I did not know that stat.
But they had never won at Daytona either, and of course Austin won the season opener.
That's
so.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. It's a great time for firsts. How about that? So
yeah,
hopefully they can get that thing tuned up.
If you're Truex here, Tyler, and you jump out to this 2-second advantage, because you had to abuse the car a little bit getting up there, as he works this lap traffic, how do you massage the race car knowing in a couple of laps we're getting a competition caution, and because of the tire allotments, you're not going to get to pit and get fresh tires there?
It's tough because you want to take care of your car, but you also want to make sure you know what you're going to have when it comes time to put it on the line at the end of this race. So it's that fine balance. You know, you don't want to drive it too easy and not really get a true understanding of what you're going to have. So I mean, he's a Cup Series winner. He's a Cup Series champion. He knows how to manage that even in these different cars in the Xfinity Series.
I'll tell you, he's hanging on is Jeremy Clements. He's loose, and Allgaier is not helping him out on cutting him any brakes and putting it on his left rear quarter panel. But, you know, these guys we'll go with caution here for the calm caution very soon. And we'll see if anyone does pit. I'll be shocked if they do, but maybe some of them want to work on the race cars.
Yeah, it's a big chance, but you know, it's an opportunity nonetheless.
I am one that says we should mandate white gloves at Atlanta because there's so much work in the corner. If you guys were always wearing white gloves, we would get a show every lap.
This will be the competition caution.
And there's the competition caution. It comes halfway through our opening stage. Martin Truex Jr. leading. The last time he led in an Xfinity race, Reddick was 14 and Blaney was 16 years old. How's that for a stat? We're back in a moment. I was teasing you guys going to break about how young you were the last time Truex was leading laps. But, I mean, you're not the only ones. Look at the ages of these drivers in the field today.
Oh, yeah, Might had the flow going. Cindric, well, same haircut at 12 as he does now.
I think he was taller than me at 12. Yeah. I was fully grown.
Harrison's hair's not changed much either. Some of these kids, I say kids, they're about my age. Hair doesn't change much throughout the years.
I wonder if Kim, when she would cut Harrison's hair, would keep it like in an envelope, because I could use some of that. He had a lot of extra back then.
Yeah, I had way too much on my head back at around their age too when I was 14, 13, so same here.
Real good start to the day for Joe Gibbs Racing. Truex leading. Burton is second right now. Here's what they're saying in the 54 camp.
Is it what you expected since it's been a while? Yeah, still good. I didn't expect to get to the front that fast, but yeah, still all good. You can definitely feel no downforce. Pretty slippery, but a good balance. Copy that.
Yeah, I didn't expect him to get to the front that fast either. He did an amazing job. So we see the Chews and Moffitt seemed to take the top. So he gave up, starting potentially pretty much fifth to start on the front row. And I like that move. It's just a lot, about how you don't spin your tires here in that second lane, especially on used tires.
Yeah, I mean, it's always really hard to get the traction going on these restarts or on new tires here at Atlanta. We all know that top is just unforgiving. You get them loose, you never get them back. And it gets wild pretty quick when that happens.
You mentioned new tires, okay? Most of the front runners, all the front runners stayed out here because they want to make sure they have plenty of sets of tires in case we would get a late caution. They all have 4 sets laying in the pits. But there were some drivers that came down pit road here. Someone I want you to keep an eye on the restart is Ryan Sieg in the 39. He's back outside the top 30 for the restart, but on fresh tires. With just over 15 laps, he might be thinking, let's go up, steal a stage, and get some points, because they're one of those drivers that's on the fringe. We'll watch him and others who are on fresh tires here for the restart.
So I rewatched the race from last year, and Cindric came in. He and Briscoe came in under the comp caution, took 4 tires, and Cindric got back to the lead in 4 laps. So I'll be really curious to see how Ryan C. can pick his way through the field here.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen him do this a lot of these wear-out tracks too, just really trying to hunt those stage points.
And based on our confirmation, we'll watch him, but we understand he might have not taken tires. It'll be fuel only. So we will keep an eye on his progress here. Just got a chassis adjustment and got some fuel. Here's the restart as we complete lap 24.
First clear, all clear. 1 back 11 on the bottom.
Man, it just looked like Brett did pretty good at getting the launch, but then all of a sudden just third to fourth really struggled. But now, look at this, he's come back to third.
And I feel like that middle lane of 1 and 2 always has good grip. Something about it, especially, when you had 3 cars on the bottom. Maybe, Haley was a little bit in dirty air, and Moffitt was able to, keep the thing pinned. And as we run 3 wide through the tri-oval, we'll see how that works.
Sort this out into turn 1 here. Yeah, if you're Daniel Hemric, you got to charge in there and get ahead of that 10 car of Jeb Burton, because middle of 3 wide is no good in the Xfinity cars, especially here at Atlanta with as little grip as they have.
I should listen to him pedal it too. That just shows you how slick the track is and how worn out these tires are for 25 laps on them. Daniel pedaled it until he was almost all the way straight, and then he could finally put it wide open. So that just shows how tricky it is to get around this joint.
Austin making that momentum work off 3 and 4 there. It's the tough end to make the top work, but as you see, he's able to make it work, and then, he has some drivers jump up in front of him there.
Adam, you still there?
I'm doing good. I'm watching Brandon Jones here, and, here's a driver that is either at a DNF or a top 5, right? And both times he got a DNF, he was running in the top 5, and because they had the problem last week in Phoenix, had to start 16th, and he's already worked his way into the top 10 as the Joe Gibbs Racing movement continues.
And now top of 3 wide. Never a fun thing to hear. When you go into turn 3 on the bottom, that bump just really upset him, but now he's going to be up there in the shade and be able to maintain fairly well from that mistake he had almost a lap ago.
Gragson into the top 10.
That's who I was just about to say keep your eye on. He was really fast at Homestead, obviously. Another really worn-out racetrack. Granted, you run right against the fence there. So it's a little bit different in that aspect, but still.
That's
wow.
not good.
That was a great save by Daniel Hemric.
Wow. I don't know what to say there. That was pretty crazy. We're only 28 laps in. We got a long ways to go still. They're already getting wild.
Is there contact? I think not.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, that was before, right?
He was just saying hello.
Dang. Man, you just got to wonder if Daniel wasn't expecting the 98 to check up that much to make the bottom. And then, yeah.
We got hooked a little bit
crazy
in
there.
the right rear with the 98 trying to get back down in line. But, you know, the fight for the bottom of 3 and 4, I mean, that's what it is. It's a fight for that bottom, you know, and Daniel thought he was here, and 98 thought different.
Yeah, that's just a tough spot. You know, you want to, you know, if you feel like you're there, you want to let them know, hey, I'm here. But that really just killed all their momentum.
We had this. Austin Cindric on the receiving end of a hit from Noah Gragson.
Aggressive today.
Oh, my.
Man, that was a nice
Still
save
never-
by Cindric.
Yeah, those tires, man, here, once you get them sideways, it seems like they never recover. You see it in the restarts, and it happens at speed, too. That was definitely a bump. Gragson's coming through, letting Austin know, hey, I'm here.
Hey, so is Allmendinger from the back to the top 10 and in position now to score stage points. Really nice job by the guy that won this race a year ago. We'll step aside. You won't miss anything. And as we go to break, we show you a stone that honors vets. NASCAR official John Stacy brings it out every weekend. Good to see that on Folds of Honor weekend. Five laps to go in stage number 1, and our second caution of the day. Dexter Bean goes for a slide in the 90.
Really interesting situation here. Coming to the end of the stage. No debris on the track. So are we going to go green before the stage ends as we see how he gets loose? Just lost.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've actually spun out there quite a bit in my early days. You know, before they really restricted testing as a rookie, I've spun out there a couple of times. It's a tough part of the racetrack. I mean, you're trying to hook that line. The banking starts to go away. It's really hard to get it back straight.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Austin Cindric outside the top 10. Listen in.
Still same feedback, if not worse. Copy that, man. I know it's painful out there. I'm going to take a big swing at it. Yep, that'd be good.
Big swings is always good. When your car's not driving right, you need a big swing, and Austin was struggling pretty good and hanging on. So I'm sure Brian Wilson has a good plan to fix that thing up.
So, hey, we talked at the competition caution about drivers maybe pitting and trying to steal some points, right? And no one did. I mean, we thought maybe some did. All came down. All those that came down only got an adjustment in fuel, no tires. But the one thing I would say here, and Ryan, to your point, we're not going to put many laps on them. Probably going to go green with a lap, maybe 2 in the stage. So do you come here and get the tires and then stay out for track position? Is that too much of a disadvantage beginning stage 2?
I think it depends who you are, right? Like if you're the 54 car and he's not going for driver points, you stay out, because stage points doesn't matter to you, and you come get those fresh tires afterwards. But, someone who wants to win a stage, they'll probably come. And it looks like a lot of people are actually going to stay here. They're thinking long run here and not wanting to have 2 extra laps on their stuff to start off that second stage.
Riley Herbst comes down pit road. He's not the only one. Myatt Snyder making a stop. And you got to believe the plan here, pit, get tires, stay out at the end of the stage. Herbst was running 10th. Tommy Joe Martin's in as well. Regan?
Well, Riley Herbst on the left of your screen there. That car is very difficult crossing the seams, so they wanted to go ahead and pit now, work on that. And on the right of your screen, you see Brandon Brown. His race car fired off extremely loose, something that they could not quite get out of it.
Here's what up and a problem for the 2. Had to back it up, and now he exits. Here's what I like about Brandon Brown, 9th in points. So if you pit here and you come through, and maybe you'll have time, maybe you won't, but if you can come through and get some stage points here, then all of a sudden you put yourself in a spot where you stole some,
Yeah, it could be. It just depends on, if they get the one to go here or if they get the one to go next lap. I think they're going to get the one to go here, and which will probably give them, I guess, 2 laps possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe only 1, but we'll see how far they can get on those new tires.
The under-23 men's national soccer team continues their fight for a spot in the Summer Olympics as they take on the Dominican Republic. CONCACAF men's Olympic qualifying tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time on FS1 in the Fox Sports app. So I guess the other thought here would be on these tires, because as you said, they're only going to have 1 lap. Is just lay back and save them, right? I mean, that's those are the 2 things you're looking at here, yeah. What do you think? You don't like that?
Man, I feel like you could do that at some places, but the second you leave your pit box, your tires are going away here. And yeah, I can understand trying to do this if you're some of those cars back there in the back half of the top 20, trying to just shake it up, get some track position maybe. But as we see, time to choose. What are you going to do here? A lot of cars here on older tires.
So I think it's going to be just be 1 lap.
It is 1 lap.
So it's so that's that's a good point that you brought up. And I don't think you're going to get to the top 10 in 1 lap.
You can't, right? You're not going to have enough time.
It's not going to happen. So, you could just ride around. You could pretty much just putt around there and not go a lap down and cycle up towards the lead.
Where's the box? Where's the box? Where's the box? Oh, whew, wow. That was a little close there, Jeremy.
Yeah, late call for Jeremy Clements, and it didn't help out Hemric.
Yeah, no kidding. That's the worst feeling in the world when you're like, oh my gosh, did I just hit the box? And then you never want to confess to anything, right? And if you don't ever hear anything, it's a sigh of relief. I think at Phoenix, I about caught it, about wrecked trying to not hit it. So
that's the game plan there. Don't ask and just hope you don't hear anything. Hope no one notices.
Yeah, when you speed on pit road too, same thing. You're like, man, I really hope that I didn't. You never want to say, hey guys, I sped, but. Yeah,
hey, I'm looking at those drivers that pitted here at lap 37. Brandon Brown, Riley Herbst, Myatt Snyder, Ryan Sieg. They're all restarting outside the top 25, back close to 30th. As we said, in 1 lap, there's absolutely no way you get through and score stage points, right? So why would you burn them? I mean, the thought has got to be lay back and save them a little, you think?
Yeah, I think in this position, since it's only 1 lap, I would just putt around there at literally quarter speed. You're not going to go a lap down. And I think that's what they're going to be doing, watching these guys.
Here we go.
At the front, 1 lap to decide who wins the opening stage at Atlanta.
And these seams are just so hard to cross. You cross them at the wrong time going through the gears, and you just lose all your momentum, and cars just start going by, especially in that outside lane. Oh,
no.
my gosh.
Brandon Jones trying to hang on to it. And Brett Moffitt got him. They're both in the wall. Caution is out. And that will end our opening stage. Third caution of the afternoon. Noah Gragson sliding sideways.
Man, that was a lot of really good cars that got tore up in that, from the 9, the 02, the 19. Just kind of came together, being 3 wide, and hate to see that.
I thought I was getting pranked. I couldn't believe this actually happened in front of me. It's like, wait, they're actually wrecking like big into 3 there. And well,
when it happens on a restart, I mean, there's nowhere to go, right? Everybody's bunched together. It's bound to be big.
I mean, yeah, and you think they've ran, they were coming to complete lap 40 on tires. I mean, there is not much left in these Goodyear tires, and yeah, things happen.
This is coming off of turn 2, and Brandon Jones running 8th in that outside lane.
So I'm going to predict what happened here is, Jones got a great run, and it looks like, I'm sure Brett tried to tuck in right behind him and just misjudged it just a little bit and clipped it.
You see this too many times. It's just, if you feel that, filling that hole is so important, and trying to, just not leave the door open for someone to get a run on you, and just, we see the best in the business.
Yeah, so Moffitt's looking in his mirror, trying to slide up in that hole to get in front of the 9 to not get Freight Train on the top with the draft, and just barely misjudged it, and those guys just kind of came together.
It looked like Cindric got a little damage. I think A.J. Allmendinger did. We know that Noah Gragson was a part of that. Daniel Hemric may have been able to drive right below it and stay out of the mess. Let's go on board with Austin Cindric.
Quarter clear. Still there, the 1, uncovered by 2, wrecking here.
That's some pretty serious damage.
Inside.
I think Hemric was clean. That's
Don't slow
unbelievable.
down. You never really heard him get on the brakes, and I guess I don't really blame him, man. I mean, as we all know, the tire fall off goes away, and, well, when the tires are gone, you can't really stop either, and that's why they wadded him up like that.
There you see the damage for Allmendinger, who had to come from the back today, won this race a year ago. Winner stage 1, Martin Truex Jr., Harrison Burton, Justin Allgaier, Justin Haley, Michael Annett, your top 5. Millions of kids nationwide are still without their normal access to sports and play due to COVID-19. That's why Fox Sports and Good Sports are restoring play through donations of brand new fitness gear to youth organizations, including nearly $800,000 worth of equipment from Good Sports to programs in need in the Atlanta area. Text play to the number on your screen to help kids get in the game. So our third caution comes out, final lap of the opening stage. And you see the list of drivers involved: Moffitt, Gragson, Allmendinger, Jones, Cindric. You could have made a case that any of those drivers would have won the race today.
Yeah, that's, like I said, that's a shame. There's a lot of, there's Moffitt, Gragson, Allmendinger, Jones, Cindric. Those guys were all having great days and really fast cars, and it looks like all of them have pretty significant damage. The 16, that's bad. The 9 looks rough. I'm not sure what the damage is on the 22, but as we could take a look at it one more time. Almost like when Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott got into it in Arlington, kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's just, trying to minimize the loss, right? You're middle of 3 wide. You're trying to fill the hole, so you're not put 3 wide again going into 3. And, it's always close anytime in the NASCAR series. And, yeah, just didn't work out. I think fresh tires, Brandon probably could have held on to that, but, that was the situation. Everyone was in there.
Cindric coming down now as they continue to work on the damage. And Jamie, what's it look like down there? Lots of work to be done.
Yes, well, Mr. Blaney called it. He said that 22 is hurt in that right front area. That's exactly why they wanted to bring him down now and just get that repaired early. Caught up there. Unbelievable turn of events for the 22, who they had high hopes for today. And very quickly, the 54 took over, and now they've had trouble after he faded a bit. He's just been loose today. They wanted to tighten him up, and obviously they haven't had a chance to even do that yet.
All of these vehicles will go on the damaged vehicle policy, and so they'll have time to fix these cars. If they can't get them repaired in that time, then they will be done for the day. I don't know that I've seen any damage so severe that it can't be repaired, that they can get back out, we go under green, and then meet minimum speed and continue to operate throughout the day. We'll continue to monitor that. As you see, Noah Gragson is in as well. And Saturday, April 3rd, MLB is back as the Braves face Bryce Harper in the Phillies. Then the reigning champion Dodgers take on the Rockies. It's all on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Who's your baseball team, guys?
Man, I'm a Cleveland Indians fan, being from Ohio.
I can't claim a team. I like watching the sport, but racing was my thing. I watch baseball, but I never really latched onto a team and followed.
Well, the seasons overlap, so I understand.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's a long season, just like ours.
Hey, it's great to see fans back out, right?
Oh my gosh,
it is. It's been. I know it's been obviously tough on them. It's been tough on us too. Not seeing everybody, meeting fans. Having that interaction. But it's great. We've been having fans all year, and it's awesome to see a lot of people here today for this race, and looking forward to having people again for another beautiful race tomorrow for our Cup guys.
Yeah, I got tired of not having fans at the racetrack, so it's great to have some folks here and enjoying the racing and getting to see some of the carnage that just took place too.
I want to follow up on something we had talked about. One of the drivers that pitted at lap 37 and got those tires was Riley Herbst. Unfortunately for him, he had to check up for the accident on the back straightaway, flat spotted his tires, so he's going to have to pit again.
No. Yes, he's just riding around. We need to get everything we can get. Got to get our head in the game, man. When he wrecks, he completely loses it.
Yikes.
I wonder what.
So that was Chris Rice. And
I guess a disagreement in how they go about managing the damage and what they're going to do. Don't really know what they did or didn't do. Obviously, we see him rolling around with a lot of tape on the hood.
So pit road is finally open, and the leader's going to come down and get their first service of the day, Regan.
Well, Justin Haley, so strong a year ago here in this race. Strong again today. Right now, that race car just too tight for him. He can't get the front tires to turn. That means the front tires don't want to work. The 20 car of Harrison Burton, that race car is tight as well. It's building tighter as the run goes on. Lots of coaching up by a spotter on what line to run. Jamie?
Martin Truex Jr. in the 54, hasn't been in the car since 2010. Took him 7 laps to go, 18th to first, a little loose, lacking a little grip. The 7 of Justin Allgaier, little free, lacking forward drive. Hearing that a lot down here, Adam.
Martin came to play. So did the 54 pit crew. He gets off right in front of his teammate Harrison Burton. Allgaier comes out third. Big jump for Josh Berry, +3. And Annette jumps off as well. And we got a gas can in the middle of pit road and one driver in the grass. And penalties are on the way. You can't take the gas can with you.
I wonder whose gas can that is. I'm trying to add up the boxes of how far it would go. We'll see.
Tyler, let's talk to Martin.
Hey there, Stage 1 winner Martin Truex Jr. This is Tyler Reddick up in the Fox Sports booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Tyler.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I had hair down to my shoulders and I was elbows deep in dirt racing the last time that you were in an Xfinity car, but you didn't waste any time getting to the front. I don't really know what to ask about your car, but it looks like you're having fun. Did you miss running the Xfinity Series?
Yeah, for sure. It's been a long time. So, yeah, the guys brought a really good Stanley Toyota Super here. And, you know, it's a pleasure to get to drive for them. So hopefully I can just keep it up and not screw it up. So far, so good. Having some fun, and we'll see what we can do here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, and you know, take it easy on those guys out there. We'll see if they can get you. Good luck.
I won't take it easy. I'll make them earn it. But looks like you know, guys will get the cars better, and I think we can get this thing better too. So we'll see.
I was going to say there's a 0% chance he's going to take it easy on anybody. So who lost the gas can? Penalty for Jeremy Clements. Oh, that's a tough break for him. And a penalty for the 19 of Brandon Jones as well. We'll update that when we come back as we get ready for stage number 2. NASCAR Xfinity Series opened up the year with 6 straight weekends of competition. After 2 weeks off, we head to Martinsville. It's the opening race in our Dash for Cash. Today is a qualifier. Then we go to Talladega, off to Darlington. Then it's up to Dover. Now keep in mind, these tracks have absolutely nothing in common, and then our first ever trip to Austin, Texas will hit the road course there. That is versatility in a schedule right there.
Man, we've seen some stuff get tore up already today, and I'm looking at where we're going between Martinsville, Talladega, Darlington. Pretty much every car's going to be right side of Darlington. We could see a lot more chaos over the next 5 races than this Xfinity Series.
I mentioned the Dash for Cash. Today is a Dash for Cash qualifier. So if you're signed up for Xfinity points, and everybody in the field but 2 guys are, Brett Moffitt and Martin Truex Jr., if you're one of the top 4 finishers of that group today, you're eligible for the big bonus when we go to Martinsville in a couple of weeks. And we need to mention a couple of things. This kid would love $100,000. He'll be going to college someday. Josh Berry, illegal fueling, improper fueling on the 8 car, so they were penalized. Tough break for them because they came off the pit lane inside the top 5. And the 19 of Brandon Jones penalized for too many men over the wall while working under the DVP. That's a 2-lap penalty, so his situation has gone from bad to worse. And as we get ready for the restart, it's going to be Brandon Brown, Myatt Snyder on the front row. The top 3, those that stayed out under our competition caution last time they pitted at lap 37, so their tires are a little older.
Oh, yeah. If you're any crew chief in the Cup Series right now, you got your notepad out and you're getting ready to jot down some notes of what these 3 cars up at the front are going to do on this start.
Now look how far back Truex is laying back.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to time his run. Snyder actually did a really good job restarting in that second lane of not spinning the tires and keeping decent pace. But Truex doesn't waste any time.
Yeah, he's going to try and jump out to the outside, and he's going to get there, obviously. 1 lap is still a lot at Atlanta, and you're about to see it.
Well, he went from 18th to first in 7 laps. Now he's got fresher tires than the guys he's racing, so from 4th to the lead, no big deal, and he's got it as we hit turn 3. Truex has been dominating today, leading 41 of our 51 laps so far.
Yeah, you look at Myatt there, and on that start, it wasn't looking great for a second, but he was able to turn over to Brandon Brown, get to the inside, and going to settle out in second here.
Hey, you know who handled himself well and continues to learn? You know, Brandon Brown. I mean, he's third. I mean, you mentioned the jump that he gets to on the restart, and I just think across the board, this guy's doing so many things to grow early in his career.
Yeah, and, working with the great crew chief, me and Ryan both have had a lot of experience with Doug Randolph, doing a great job up on the box. Always great to catch up with Doug, and glad to see him be such a good fit for Brandon Brown.
You both worked with him when you were driving a truck for Brad Keselowski, right?
Yeah, Doug Randolph was he was my first crew chief over there at BKR, and I'm not sure if he was your first when he came over. And Doug, he was actually worked on my dad's Cup team for a long time, so we've known Doug for a long time, and just a great person, great family. And Regan, do you know Doug as well?
I think we're having an issue with Regan's mic. I could hear him faintly, so we'll get back to Regan on that in a moment. On board with Austin Cindric. He was a part of the crash, was having a rough day anyway, and then involved in that crash as we ran the final lap in the opening stage.
I'm not going to lie, this, if I'm Austin right now, you're going to be able to salvage a pretty good day out of this if he's able to run this pace over a long run.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how that damage affects it, I mean, obviously he's met minimum speed, but we have Harrison Burton. He was the one who was running second, most of the day behind Truex, and he's starting to flex his muscle again and try to get back up where he was running.
Yeah, I mean, look at what Brandon Brown did right there. Obviously, at Atlanta, I feel like when you get put in that spot, you're not going to be able to hold on to position, but he did a really good job there of getting to Harrison's right rear quarter panel, and is going to get back down in front of him here in 3 and 4. And well, the last thing you want to do as a driver when you're behind somebody else is lose the air on the nose there, but Harrison's going to have to go back to work.
Hey, back behind them in 6th, we talked about Ryan Sieg. He was one of those that came down prior to the stage in, got those 4 tires, and the track position paying off. He's having a nice afternoon. Truex continues to lead in Atlanta. Martin Truex Jr. leading halfway through stage 1 for the stage 2, I should say, for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Atlanta with Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick. I'm Adam Alexander. Truex leading 50 of our 60 laps today. He's a 2-time series champion, and he has looked outstanding this afternoon.
Yeah, we see Mike Snyder here running second, trying to hold off Justin Haley. He was one of the drivers that came in, before the stage 1 break and put tires on. He's hanging on really great right now. Yeah, and,
I'm looking at it probably, one of the best cars besides our leader right now, Martin Truex Jr., pace-wise, Justin Haley. Really moving around a lot in 1 and 2. You see Myatt moving around in front of him, but he seems pretty good here, especially being in Myatt's air, and it looks like he's going to be able to get the preferred position in 3.
Those two racing for second, and good battle going on here for fourth. Harrison Burton in front of Justin Allgaier. When you look at Harrison Burton, here's a driver that's got experience on the pit box. Jason Ratcliffe, 2 wins here, including his first ever as a crew chief. That happened in 2002 with Jamie McMurray, and Burton had to hang on to that one there, fellas.
Allgaier put the pressure on him, and Allgaier's been fast. Towards the end of the other run, the first run, he was really making some good ground up. So Justin, I think, does a really good job on these worn-out racetracks, and it seems like right now his car is starting to get to where he really likes it to be.
Here we're riding along with Riley Herbst. Obviously, not in a great spot, flat spot in those tires, missed that wreck. But right now, if he can manage this pace and hopefully catch, not have cautions fall the wrong way, looks like their long run speed's not too bad. And he's able to, work the white line there pretty good. So we'll see how that continues to develop for him. I know that he's needing all the laps he can.
And behind him, Brandon Brown running 7th right now, Regan.
Well, I think we got the problems fixed, Adams.
You
I have wires
great.
going everywhere down here for just a minute. Hey, I just wanted to mention, I know you guys said that you had plenty of experience with Doug Randolph as crew chief. He, too, was one of my first Xfinity crew chiefs, and I talked to him about that earlier today, working with Brandon and why things are getting so much better. He said this season we're so much further ahead of time with our race cars. I have an opportunity to coach Brandon Brown way more than what I did last year on his driving stuff on and off the racetrack. As you guys know, and working with Doug in the past, that is one of his strong suits, young drivers and coaching them up. He is very good at that.
Yeah, it's nice to have experience on the box. And we got a 3-ride battle here for a top 5 position. This for 4th, actually 3rd. Justin Allgaier cuts through the middle and takes a couple of spots away.
I think that was a case of Justin being on the inside of Myatt down the back, and Burton got a huge run and took him 3 wide, and that was it gets tight down there in 3 and 4, especially as slick as it is.
Yeah, Harrison has to be careful about that right rear tire. We've seen him sideways a lot here, and as this run continues to go, that's going to just get worse and worse as we run.
How about that 7 car, Jamie?
Yeah, I talked to Jason Burnett, his crew chief for Justin Allgaier this morning, and he said all the junior motorsports cars came different. They all trying to get better and learn something. He said they've been decent here, so they used the same platform that they usually show up with, but sprinkled some new things in there, and it's paying off today. But Justin still wants some more changes. He has no grip in turn 3, and he's on the splitter a little bit too much.
I'll tell you what, though, they're going in the right direction. First 4 races, average finish 26.5. Top 10 at Phoenix. 3rd today. Truex is your leader. Here we are in Atlanta, stop number 6 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Love coming here, and we get to do it twice in 2021. You know, I'm in the booth today with Reddick and Blaney, and I'm just going to tell you guys, enjoy tomorrow. Enjoy tomorrow. I know it's a long day, 500 miles, but when we return, it's going to be mid-July. I mean, you talk about earning it. Mid-July in Atlanta's hot.
You'll be working hard. You know, that it is hot, and it'll be 2 different racetracks. You know, I mean, this weekend it's pretty cool. The sun's out, but it's chilly outside, and it's really windy. And when we come back, Adam, like you said, it'll be really hot, really slick. So you'll be able to compare notes, but it'll just be a completely different racetrack. You'll almost be guessing of where the grip level is going to be.
Absolutely.
How much do tires mean? 98 O'Reilly Herbst flat spotted his at the end of stage 1, came back, got tires. He's driving through. And we've seen a lot of contact today for a 1.5-mile track. Myatt Snyder getting a piece of Harrison Burton there.
Entry to 3 has just been a very chaotic place as we've seen so far, and we're not even halfway yet.
Yeah, so, you know, Harrison came off of 2 on the bottom and was worried that Snyder was going to have a run down the back. So he protected the bottom into 3 because he wanted to run on the line. And Snyder tried to go to the top, and they just came together. But Harrison was just protecting the bottom because he knows that's the fastest way around.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hasn't been a good day for our reigning champ, Austin Cindric, 19th right now.
I can't really say you did a whole lot for me here. I don't think the track's changing a whole lot. I just have absolutely no drive.
How much of that is the car, because we know he was fighting it early, versus the damage that they received in that crash? That's got to be a tough thing to get balanced out.
Yeah, you know, and the damage to the right front fender and nose, you know, I'd almost feel like that would make you tighter, you know, and that part of the car is damaged. But, you know, I'm sure the front end is not working as well, but the back is still just out of the racetrack like it was before. So that's, you know, just a frustrating day. But, I mean, he's up to 19th. He's been doing a pretty good job of working what he's got. And as, you know, we get another caution here soon for the stage, they'll be able to try to fix that right front fender up a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the part, you know, for Brian Wilson and Coleman Presley is to just coach him along. You know, this is going to be a very frustrating day, but if they can stay in it, take advantage of some more misfortunes, they're going to get out of here with a lot better finish than, you know, Brandon Jones, Brett Moffitt, some of those that are back there.
Hey, and a good finish today. If you can salvage, let's say, a top 15, that could play a huge dividends, pay huge dividends in a couple of weeks when we go to Martinsville, because so much of your starting position there is based on how you run in this race. And so that keeps everybody in the game. As you look at his season numbers, we're not going to see a top 5 again, most likely, but a top 15, even a top 10 would be a real win for this team.
Yeah, but I remember how much damage that car had the Daytona road course. He still got that thing back up in there with no right front, but so much you know, chaos so far in this race. We see a lot of cars on pit road even here today, just good cars kind of stacked up around each other. And with Jones, Moffitt, you know, these guys back here, you're going to see that again at Martinsville.
I'll tell you who's got a good race car today is Michael Annett. You know, it just passed Myatt Snyder for 6th place, and he's been carving his way up through there pretty good. You know, didn't start that close to the front, and he's just been really smooth all day and actually putting together really good lap times. I've been watching him, so it seems like Michael always runs good here. You know, he's always been smooth with the throttle pedal, and I give him credit for that. So another great run by Michael Annett here today.
You know, they really shined on the 1.5 miles a year ago. His best run this season on a 1.5 miles, and we have to congratulate Michael. Last Saturday at Phoenix, his 300th career start in the Xfinity Series. Quite a milestone. Heck, he's almost got 100 starts at 1.5 mile tracks. For a minute, I thought my stat was wrong, and then I realized, oh, that's just 1.5 miles. 2 to go on the stage. Pit road is closed. Truex leading by 3 seconds. And really, a good portion of the top 10 is spread out here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just product of Atlanta. You know, it wears out, and the guys that really got it going on with track position, they're gonna check out. You know, you see movers and shakers, but it's just product of this racetrack. You know, the guys that are falling off fairly well are going to really get away from those that are like Cindric and some of these other drivers that are really fighting something within their car.
Saw Truex go around Bailey Curry to put him a lap down. Curry's 25th today, coming off a career best 7th last Saturday at Phoenix. for fourth. A couple of young drivers, Harrison Burton, Riley Herbst, were teammates a year ago. And up in front of them, it's Martin Truex Jr. sweeping stage 1 and stage 2. Second place goes to Justin Allgaier. Third place, Justin Haley. And fourth and fifth, going to be Burton in front of Riley Herbst. Truex leads all winners in Cup Stage wins, all drivers rather in Cup Stage wins, and we'll have more after this. March 20th, here's what's happening on this day. 1930, Kentucky Fried Chicken, founded by the Colonel. 1973, Roberto Clemente goes into the Baseball Hall of Fame. 2016, Barack Obama visits Cuba. And in 1988, a little NASCAR-flavored Dale Earnhardt wins the 4th of his 9 Atlanta Cup races. And now our Ford track facts. 3 Ford drivers have won multiple Atlanta Xfinity races. Mark Martin, Matt Kenseth, Carl Edwards, and one of those Edwards wins, I believe the first of his career, and the next day he came back and won his first Cup race. Swept the weekend, and in both days, it was his first career win in each series.
You know, I remember watching that Cup race, and that was one of the coolest finishes ever. He beat Jimmy Johnson.
Unbelievable
off turn
finish.
4,
Yep.
and historic Atlanta finish, but that got me off the edge of my seat as the leaders come to pit road. Regan, what do you got?
Well, the 11 car of Justin Haley right now, that race car, that car's too tight for him. You see him in the upper left-hand of the screen. They told him, stop short. We want to make sure that we don't get boxed in by the 15 car who's going to be coming into his stall later on. The 20 car, Harrison Burton on the upper right-hand of your screen. That car is building free the longer the run goes on. It was way tight earlier. They've swung it the other direction, Jamie.
Martin Truex Jr. in the 54 has Christopher Bell's Cup crew going over the wall for him. Just a little bit tight. They freed him up with a little air pressure. 4 tires. The 7 of Justin Allgaier said, don't make adjustments if it's going to cost us time. The car is good on the long run. Didn't want to change it.
And I don't think they lost any time on pit road, Jamie, because he comes right out behind Truex. Nice work for both the 54 and the 7. +2 for Riley Herbst, so the 98 team delivers. Haley and Harrison Burton both lost a position. Let's hear from Allgaier, second in the stage and doing some positive things, Ryan.
Hey, Justin Allgaier, Ryan Blaney up in the Fox booth. You got me.
Which, rightfully so. I just got to figure out how to get around.
Debriefing with crew chief.
Hey, Justin Allgaier, Ryan Blaney up in the Fox booth. You got me.
Yeah, buddy, go ahead.
Hey, you look really good out there in that number 7 car. Looks like your car is really great on the long run. You were starting to make some time on that 54. We heard you didn't make any adjustments under that pit stop. What do you think you need to do to try to catch that 4 at the end of this race?
Well, Ryan, it's going to be tough. You know, obviously Martin's a great race car driver, but they got a really good car today, too. So our Exalta EchoPark Camaro is really good on the long run, like you said. We fought being on the splitter a little bit at the start of a run, and once it finally kind of comes to me, I feel like we're really good. So, you know, we got a long stage here. Hopefully we can get some long green flag runs and, you know, do our job, and we'll be right there on that 54 at the end. But if I could get rolling a little better on these starts, I feel like that would help kind of bridge the gap. You know, it's kind of a daunting task when you look up and they're about a half straightaway ahead. So if we can close that up a little bit, it'd be nice.
Well, sounds good. Best of luck to you. Go get it done.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
He sounds confident, and you need that if you're going to try to run down a Cup champion. Martin Truex Jr. leading when we come back for the final stage at Atlanta. Hey, thank you very much for the bump back there. I mean, you guys are serious, and I'm acting like an idiot. This T-shirt look familiar, Blaney?
Yeah, it does. I have that exact same T-shirt, and that's a great Ford Motorcraft hat he had on there, too.
And this tweet from Xfinity Racing: there's never been more of a chance for a Star Trek versus Star Wars debate in the Xfinity Series booth. Have at it, fellas. And Blaney, I think the last time you were with us, it was May 4th in the booth at Dover a couple of years ago.
You got that right. So, I don't know. I've never really seen a Star Trek.
Yeah.
I saw one of the newer ones, but I was just never really into it as a kid. Even though I liked William Shatner, I never really got into Star Trek.
Well, I don't know. It's not really. I guess my side of the debate is I don't know many Star Trek fans that turn Star Wars and never look back. I grew up watching Star Wars and found Star Trek and went off in that direction. So I don't know. They find Star Wars, they like it, they see Star Trek, and there they go.
It's both space adventures, so whatever you're into.
There's a lot of Star Trek to watch out there.
I was going to offer to be the judge and the jury in this debate, but there's no debate. I mean, you guys just get along too much. That doesn't work on TV. Work on that, okay?
Yeah.
And I think we might have been able to pull up some pictures of Blaney.
Don't do it.
Doing the Star Wars stuff. I mean, seems to always pop up when you join us. Oh, that's pretty tame, you and Bubba.
Yeah, that one's tame. Yeah, there we go. We were at Universal Studios, Star Wars Land, and you pulled that one. Thank you so much.
There it is.
Appreciate that.
There it is.
Everyone in the Fox booth, thank you in the truck for reminding me of that night. But, hey, whatever. I was Princess Leia. I had a crush on her, and I got to be her, so that was part
You
of
had
it.
a crush on yourself?
No.
Hey, we reminded you because if you were dressed like that, hopefully you forgot, all right? Let's get to the restart here as we go to the final stage at Atlanta. Martin Truex Jr. has dominated this race after starting in the 18th position. He went from 18th to the lead in 7 laps. So what do you guys anticipate as we roll off in this final stage?
Just trying to figure out what the track's going to do here. I'm sure it's starting to get a little bit more shade through 1 and 2. You hope you make the right adjustments to your car. We'll usually have a long green flag run because there's no more stages left. So we'll have to pit one more time before the end of the race. So we'll see. We'll see when people split up that pit sequence and who's got the best car at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking behind me. We got 76 laps to go. Probably going to take the green 75, 74. So there's going to be a lot of ways to break up this last stage. Obviously, tires mean a lot, but we'll just have to see what they do.
And everyone should have, with the exception of the 98, everyone should have 2 sets of tires in the pits. You got to pit, as you said, Ryan, one time, and then you save a set in case we get a late caution. As we go green, we listen into 7 radio. That's Justin Allgaier. He's just behind the leader, Truex.
Coffee behind you.
He wants to get to the top of him.
Quarter. Good. Crossing over bottom. Riley.
That is exactly what he was wanting on a restart he's been talking about.
Door. Coming back to you.
For Justin, you got to just this is the race. He needed to get to his door there, and we're seeing the speed of that 54 car. He just drove right on by.
I told you guys he sounded confident in his interview, and we saw it on that restart. I mean, he doesn't get the lead, but he went toe-to-toe with him there like we've not seen all day long.
I mean, if you're in third, that's about as good as you can execute it through 1 and 2. Unfortunately, didn't pan out, but that was good.
Austin Cindric trying to make it happen.
Ooh, he's having a good day. He's really happy.
He already had damage on the right front fender, so a little bit more doesn't matter. But Austin, he's making moves.
Out of the way.
He's up to 17th, and and trying to, like you said earlier, Adam, trying to get a good finish to have a good starting spot at Martinsville here in a couple weeks.
Up to 17th, and that's not bad. You got to believe he can get to the top 15 before this thing's over. Was racing there with Santino Ferrucci, Josh Williams, a couple of drivers that are inside the top 20, and we have got to give some love to the 51 of Jeremy Clements. He had a great starting spot today, stayed in the top 10 early, had the penalty when the gas can got away, and has worked his way back to the top 5. Unbelievable effort for this team out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, led by first-year crew chief Mark Setzer.
Yeah, he's just driving the daylights out of it. Jeremy's one of those guys, it can be frustrating at times when you race with him for, different things on track position or, going around him when you're trying to put him a lap down. There's no question about it. He's driving the absolute daylights out of it everywhere we go. I've always seen that, and I've always really appreciated about him. And on top of that, he's just a really nice guy. So he's one that is easy to pull for.
I was talking to him this week, and he and Mark Setzer, the crew chief, really getting their chemistry down. And Setzer, something he hasn't had, a dedicated full-time crew chief, and it's obviously making a difference as we go on board. This is our Ford Performance onboard camera. Austin Cindric continuing to cut through the field.
There's two lovebirds, AJ and Austin, right around each other again. But yeah, I mean, Austin's not had a good day, and he's just trying to take out a little bit of the frustration that he has on these competitors. And those two, you know, not going to get the finish they want, but they're going to race. They're going to race hard.
Now, they're not racing for position. Cindric on the lead lap, and you can see with our tracker there, Allmendinger is a lap down. Gragson is on the lead lap. You see him in the 9 up to 16th. Riley Herbst back to 9th after rallying up to a top 5 position. What's their story, Regan?
Well, Adam, you see him sliding back just a little bit and fighting the race car right there just a little bit. They actually put the 2-lap scuffs that they thought they had flat spotted earlier in the race back on the race car right now. So as we get to the end of this race, they still have 2 sets of sticker tires left, much like the rest of the field. But right now, paying a little bit of a price for having to put those scuffs back on.
Hey, that's a great report, Regan. And I said he was the one guy that was out of balance on tires, because we thought because of that pit stop that they made, that they had made more stops than anybody, and because they put on those older tires, paying the price here, but level with everyone else. That's a great job down there by Regan getting that information.
You know, and we saw Harrison Burton past the 11. Let's see what Haley's got going on.
Check for trash on my trail. Oil's at 310, water's at 250. They're both red.
Okay, maybe he let Burton go, you know, to clean trash off the grill. You never know if he's getting hot like that. That's just what you got to do if there's no lap cars in sight. And, you know, Haley, that was a better move. Letting someone go to help clean your grill off.
And with 68 laps to go, you want to get the gauges corrected. It's not going to work itself out. Too much time remaining. Truex, Allgaier, Burton, Haley, and Clements, your top 5. 67 remaining in Atlanta. .62 laps to go in Atlanta for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Martin Truex Jr. leading. And Ryan, you're doing double duty today. Truck race earlier, now the Xfinity call. And wanted to give you a chance to pop your foundation here.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, you know, the Ryan Blaney Family Foundation was founded a couple years ago, and we were really thinking of what do we want to do and what, you know, do we want to work and strive towards helping out. And we work really closely with the Alzheimer's Association. My grandfather had Alzheimer's, and it's just such a tough disease to watch somebody go through. And it just deteriorates your mind, and really is really hard to not only watch someone go through, but obviously for that person to be a part of. So what we do at the RBFF is just you know, really raise funds, raise awareness, and we have a lot of great programs going on right now. Our Fund to Fellow program is going on, and we're working with UPMC right now on that. So really excited to get that rolling. And so I wanted to add as well, when we were doing On This Date, my boss, Mr. Penske, texted me and said, on this day 112 years ago, Carl Fisher founded the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I thought that was pretty unique.
Now, was he just trying to help us, or was he taking a shot that we didn't have that as a part of our On This Date? You're the only one that would know the answer to that question.
I think he was trying to help us.
Okay, good.
And it shows the boss man is watching, so thank you, RP, for watching today.
Hey, it seems like every week the biggest sleeper in the field is Jeb Burton. He's been top 10 in every race this year. And with 60 to go, here he is running 6th. Here's his veteran teammate, A.J. Allmendinger.
When Jeb pulls into victory lane, because he will this year, that I'm going to be just as pumped up for Jeb than I would be for myself. I've watched Jeb over his career and his willingness to take info and learn. He works very hard, not only inside the race car, but outside of it, to try to put together these programs so he can be inside the race car, working on his craft.
You know, we showed the schedule earlier, and the fact that the Xfinity teams are going to get a 2-week break after today. I think if you told Jeb Burton, new team, first year full-time, and you're going to be the only driver after 6 races to finish top 10 every week, it looks like that will be the case with the problems Cindric has had. They would take that and run.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You can't win these races by being inconsistent. You can't put yourself in position to win if you're on the hauler halfway through the race. So you gotta be smart and take what it'll give you every single week. And if that's top 10, take it and run with it. Finish those races and you know, don't make mistakes. I went through that a lot myself, and in that 2 car, we were just able to, you know, get the most out of the not so great days, and that's how you put yourself in positions to win championships, is by just fighting through those tougher days and getting the most out of it.
You mentioned new team for him. Big opportunity this year for Josh Berry as well. Running all the ovals for Junior Motorsports in the first portion of the campaign, and he's back to the top 10 after a penalty. Let's get a report from Jamie Little.
Well, as Martin Truex Jr. continues to lead this race, we talked about the fact he hasn't been in an Xfinity car since 2010. So on Monday, he went to the Joe Gibbs Xfinity shop, met with Chris Gale, his crew chief, sat in the car. They basically took his cup seat and put it in the car, but some things are different, including the gas pedal. So I'm going to ask our drivers in the booth, Tyler and Ryan, what are some of the things, maybe driver comfort things, that you guys need when you switch from one series to the other?
Well, I can speak from experience not too long ago, going over and driving for Our Motorsports. You know, with the ECU on the Cup cars, you know, the throw of the throttle is a little bit different to the carbureted Xfinity cars, and I really have a really short gas pedal, and with Our Motorsports, I wasn't able to do that, and it's not something that you just pick right up and can deal with, especially at a place like Atlanta or Homestead. It takes time to get adjusted to it and get comfortable with it.
Yeah, you know, and to that point as well, just subtle differences, you know, of, you know, running the electronic dash in the Cup car compared to the TAC in the Xfinity car. It's different how it goes through pit road. So you'll see a lot of people speed if they go down or up divisions, just because it's not the exact same thing. And that's just you know, the tough side of the technology difference between the 2 series.
The one thing he's comfortable in both series is being out front. He's led 100 laps today, a dominating performance for Martin Truex Jr.
and then he did this.
50 laps to go, and we're under caution for the 5th time. And Ryan Blaney has discovered the telestrator.
He got loose here, and then it just kind of went sideways all the way through there.
I hate that for Mason Massey. He's from Georgia and driving that 99. First start this year for BJ McLeod.
Well, tires.
Well, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, right. You pit here, and then everybody should have one set left after this if we would get a late caution, right? I mean, you got to come.
Yeah, you're sitting 50 laps to go. You got to come here. And then, you could technically probably run this to the end if you really want to push it.
Oh, yeah, you're in the window.
But, I think you have to look at fall off. If you do, I would find it hard to believe if guys split it. I think they'd run to the end if we don't get another caution. But, yeah, you're definitely coming and getting 4 fresh ones.
The fuel window here, 60-plus laps, so no problems on fuel. The big thing is tires. That's always the case at Atlanta. Regan?
Well, I think you got a lot of drivers right now that are going to want those 4 tires. Adam, on the upper left of your screen, Justin Haley. Right now that race car is too tight, and it keeps getting tighter as the runs go. Also had that water temperature issue. It's not pushing any water, but the gauge has been all over the place. The 20 car on the right-hand side of your screen, Harrison Burton, he's just getting freer as we run and the runs go. Jamie?
Jeremy Clements in the 51 looking for his 4th top 10 of the year. What an incredible run today. Building a little bit tight, but they said they've been making good adjustments. The 54 came in for an air pressure and 4 tires as well, Adam.
That crew has been incredible today. Give a shout out to the 7 as well. In fact, the top 4 holds serve. Riley Herbst jumps into the top 5. And a problem again for Josh Berry on pit road. We'll follow up there when we return to Atlanta. A host of penalties on our most recent cycle. We start things off here with Daniel Hemric coming in.
Oh, man.
So it looks like Daniel was trying to come around the car that was pitted in the box before him, and that car was already out a little bit, so he couldn't get in, so he leaked into the 9's box, and that's what kind of messed up the 9 getting into his box. So that was a really unfortunate thing, and then Noah
just parallel parking, feeling it out, using the feelers.
Didn't have the rear bumper cam, I guess.
And I don't know if it was the way he got into the box or not, but over the wall too soon on Hemric, so he goes to the back. So does our leader, speeding for Martin Truex Jr. Here's what he had to say on the radio.
This bumper got me. You hit that one spot and everything just goes haywire for a minute. I guess that's what it was. All right, man. We still got plenty of time here.
Now, I know this. I know there's going to be Martin Truex Jr. fans that tweet me and say, Adam Alexander is biased. It sounded like he was excited when he reported that the 54 was speeding. All I'm going to tell you is the quality of the show just went through the roof because watching him come from the back is going to be amazing.
It really seemed like to me, I don't know, he was talking about enjoying himself and having fun out there. He may have sped on purpose just so he could. He's got the rust knocked off. Now he can go back there and race with everybody. Who knows?
You know, I think he'll, you know, he did it early in the race. I think he's going to put on a great show of trying to get up through there. Now, like you said, Tyler, he knows how aggressive he can be, you know, being in the Xfinity car for laps and laps. So it'll be a wild charge getting him up to the field. And I also want to point out Jeremy Clements, starting on the front row, had a great car all day. I'm looking forward to seeing what Jeremy can do here at the end of this race.
What could Clean Air do here?
Yep.
Allgaier, the race leader, the control car on the inside lane. Restart comes with 46 to go. Let's listen into the 20 of Harrison Burton on a restart.
Oh, man. Not a good launch.
No run
oh,
from
and
behind.
the one
You're
jumps out of line early.
Clear to get your arc. One back 98. So one back 98. Good on your arc.
Oh, and we got
Clements up the track, into the wall. That's the 10 of Jeff Burton. Oh, man, we were just saying what a great job he was doing.
Well,
you know.
And 6 caution of the day. Daggone. Couple of really good cars.
You know, yeah, that's a shame for both those cars having such a great day. We just got done talking about Jeremy Clements and Jeff Burton. And we talk about getting all you can get on restarts. And, you know, there was some really tight places that Jeb was trying to kind of get into, and it might have cut his right front tire and blew into turn 1.
Yeah, I think the chaos really ensues here when the one jumps out of line early.
Yeah, watch Clements' hands. You saw it on the start. He spun tires. He's slow, and Jeb tries to go 3 wide middle, and oh yeah, they just kind of came together there, and yeah, Jeb has a right front now.
Yeah. Now I will say with these composite bodies, you know, you come in, you repair the damage, and they should have a set of tires here if they need to, you know, to put those on. So maybe they can work through this.
Came right across my nose, dude.
Yeah, 10-4. Yep, we saw it there.
Yeah, I mean, with 45 laps to go, you know, we're not at a green-white checkered by any means, but we know how important it is to get the track position when the tires are good. And, you know, 2 people want the same spot on the racetrack, and they're up there battling for what they think could be a top 5 or even better. So these things are going to happen on these restarts.
25 cars on the lead lap, just to give you a perspective on where we are with these guys that will have to come through the field. And pit road is open here. And I mean, you know, I said it, they got a set of tires, but you know, they just were on pit road. You're not going to come back here. You're going to save them if we were to get a caution, maybe the last 10, 15 laps, something like that, I would guess. And as expected, everyone bypasses the pit lane. 45 remaining in Atlanta. Allgaier, Harrison Burton, Riley Herbst, Justin Haley, Santino Ferrucci scored now in the top 5. Tomorrow, the best season ever continues as the NASCAR Cup Series rolls into Atlanta for the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. It all starts with race day, 1:30 on FS1. Then we're over to Fox at 2:30 Eastern Time for full pre-race coverage and the green flag, and you can watch it also on the Fox Sports app. Front row, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex Jr. And I said it going to break. Running 5th right now in this Xfinity race, Santino Ferrucci. Back-to-back top 15s, and he's got to be feeling good today.
It's just amazing for me to hear you talking about it. It's almost like you feel like a veteran, right? The way you're talking about it. It's neat to hear the excitement and what you think about all of it.
The fact of how 3 wide we are and how much racing there is mind-blowing to me. It is beyond so much fun. When you're on the restarts and it's just chaos, to me, it's like, my gosh, this is like the best thing since sliced bread for me. I mean, I haven't had this since go-karts. I mean, in IndyCar also, you can't touch people. So going back to bump drafting, it was like, this is awesome.
Great work there, Regan, with Santino Ferrucci. And forever, Clint Boyer has loved Santino because of his name. And now I know the true reason. It's because he's got the Patrick Mahomes haircut. I mean, he's a Chiefs guy. What can you add, Regan?
Adam, I can add that I definitely had hair envy of him during that interview for certain. Hey, he did say on the radio a little while ago, though, I am getting absolutely chewed up and spit out here on the racetrack today. He's having fun in Atlanta, but, man, it has been a challenge. I can tell you that many drivers that come here feel that same way. And Tommy Joe Martin running in 6th place. Let's give a quick shout-out to these guys. Second crew chief race for new crew chief Dan Stillman. They are having a fabulous run. That race car is just a little bit too loose for him right now, but hands down the best run we have seen him have in quite some time.
Yeah, we saw him top 15 a couple of weeks ago. If he can get a top 10 today, that is awesome. And as we look at our Xfinity fastest lap, no surprise, Truex is at the top. Cindric is there. Myatt Snyder popped up on the board. Allgaier, who leads this race, and Justin Haley. And let me say, Regan might be the hardest working man in television right now. I saw him doing a pre-race piece with Zane Smith for the Camping World Truck Series coverage earlier. Had the Santino Ferrucci bid. He was on Race Hub this week. Trucks early afternoon, Xfinity late afternoon, Cup tomorrow. Regan, way to go. We'll find out exactly what's happening here with Jeb Burton in a second. And as we wait for that and anticipate the green flag, update on your charity and what's going on there, Tyler.
Yeah, you know, we do a lot with Alsco, and was really excited to take my donation and put it towards Key Success based out of Utah. You know, Alsco works with that foundation, and that foundation is, you know, through what they fundraise have brought kids out to the racetrack and given them a really fun experience. But what it's all about is helping children out in Utah get the best opportunity to succeed and give them all the tools that they need to learn in school. So it's a cool deal. Excited to be a part of it. Excited. First time I've ever been able to take $5,000 and hand off and donate it a direction, so that's cool too.
It's great having both of you guys up here today. Appreciate what you're doing on track, off track, and certainly spending your Saturday afternoon with us. And we understand, you know, Jeb Burton just got out of cycle coming off the pit road, so he owed NASCAR a lap. That's the reason you saw him stopped out on the front straightaway. And we'll get the green flag here with 40 laps to go. And I mentioned Regan working hard this week. Let's get a step count update to see who's really getting it done on pit road. Jamie and Regan. And we don't have the updated numbers, but I have a feeling Jamie's going to make a comeback. You know, I mean, Regan was leading, and there was a word going around that he found a treadmill in the infield to up his step count between races. I think Jamie's going to make a comeback. Restart here. Allgaier on the front row with Riley Herbst. Great jump for the 7.
Another really hard launch. Bad launch for the outside line. It's just been crazy to get it going here, especially as this track is rubbered up.
No, that's just part of it. You know, I mean, it's so much about timing in the box. If you're not the leader and you're on the outside lane, of rolling to that leader kind of as he gets in the box and just trying to not go from very low speed and low RPM to mashing the gas. And, you know, it's tough to do as we watch, you know, Clint's favorite, Santino Ferrucci, on the inside of Riley Herbst.
Yeah, Riley's not making it easy on Santina right here, and with his lack of experience, he's learning a lot right here with the 1 up his tail and the 98 packing air on him.
Yeah, that was a bad box to be in. You got someone right on your door and right up your left rear quarter panel, and
hey, look at that! Look at that guy.
Truex
inside, outside, he can take it anywhere, right?
Yeah, the rust is finally knocked off, I guess. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, he's definitely on a mission right now, and we saw how good a car he had early in the race and still has it, and it's going to be interesting though. He's using up a lot of tire, I think, trying to run through cars and run his stuff really hard, that if an Allgaier's car just gets better, right, as we keep running. He was talking about that earlier. So if Allgaier can save his stuff right here, build a little bit of a gap, and it stays green, I'll be really curious to see if Truex can run him down when he does get to, second place.
It could be wrong, but one thing when I see here, Martin has moved around, but every lap that he can run on the bottom, I feel like that is going to help his tires as the run progresses, especially if guys are leaving him half a car width. I say that, now he moves to the middle and gets more clean air, but he's digging forward, that's for sure. And, we're going to see how much he's hurt him.
When will he know how it's settled out? Because right now I got to believe the concentration level is so much on working traffic and getting back to the front. At what point can he gauge what wear he's put on the tires on this run coming from the back?
Well, Martin's smart. Martin's a championship driver, and he knows not to go, maybe not fully all out right now, but he's got to get back to the front. If it goes green, he's 4 seconds behind the leader, so he has to get going. And he's going really well. But as I say that, the 9 car has come back to life. I don't even know where he came from.
I was just going to say, look who's in the top 10. And now he's getting ready to pass Truex. Noah Gragson in that crash at the end of stage 1. And I didn't think his day was over, but I certainly didn't think we were going to see this.
I don't really know what happened to that car.
Noah is, wow. Noah's on the apron, but Noah looks like what the 54s looked like all day to a lot of these cars.
He loosened him up down in 3 and 4, didn't he? He shoved him up off the bottom. He's about to do it again to him right here.
Why do you think it leveled out so quickly for Truex here? I felt like it was just go, 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 and all of a sudden he's hit a bit of a wall here that opened the door for Gragson.
Well, I think he's been able to get a gap. When you got someone up tight under your bumper, the car's going to change a lot, especially in the Xfinity series. And he's been able to kind of get out and get away and manage his race. And now he's back here, with guys that are racing really hard. And Noah has been able to get to his back bumper and lift the rear tires, if you will, off the racetrack.
I tell you, he's top 5 now, and this is one heck of a comeback, Jamie.
It is quite a comeback, and they started 30th to start the day. I talked to David Ellens, his crew chief, this morning. So they knew they would have a good car here. They finished second last year. And he said the thing about Noah, no matter what happens, he's really good at being disciplined and doing the same thing consistently throughout the race. And that is what it has taken to overcome the setbacks, the wreck earlier, the issues on pit road. Now here he is knocking on the door for a top 5.
Yeah, and you mentioned Dave Ellens. Dave won here a handful of years ago with Kevin Harvick, so his crew chief knows the way to victory lane. And the second place finish last year got him $100,000 in the dash for cash. And oh my goodness, Josh Berry saved it off the corner and then hammered the grass and destroyed the splitter. Unreal.
I've been there. I was there at Daytona this year. You touch the grass, it's been raining, a good bit, and these splitters just absolutely dig into wet grass, and that was big. He was going really fast too. He did a great job saving it. He might have just been better to go down pit road, but man, that's a shame. Getting a penalty on pit road and having to go back and ruined a good day.
2 weeks in a row, he's faced multiple problems and found his way to the top 10, and then this with just over 30 to go.
Well, we talk about it, you get on someone's door, they're going to lose the air, and unfortunately that's what happened to Sieg and sent Josh for a slide.
If you're not following Bob Pockris on Twitter, you should be. And Bob did a nice interview and had some media opportunities with Barry this week, and he said there's a lot of pressure because I know if I don't perform in this car, I'm probably never going to get another chance in the Xfinity Series. And I mean, when's the last time you saw the front tires of a car come off the ground like that? Incredible pictures from our crew at Fox that have been working all day long. Thanks to everybody.
Yeah, I've unfortunately done it. It does not feel good.
No, I am going to put it out there as while I have the power, I am team turf.
I mean, look how high. I mean, the grass may be tall, but wow, it is up there.
7th caution of the day. I mean, it's unbelievable. Look at the sod flying. Outstanding work by our camera folks. And pit road is going to be open this time. 30 to go. Is it too early to put on that final set of tires? You save them? What do you think?
Oh.
They said
coming.
the time is now, and they're heading toward you, Regan.
Your third place car, Justin Haley, you see him peel off to his pit stall right there. That race car is still too free on entry. He's really too free to drive it in as far as the 7 car, Justin Allgaier. So comparing himself to the leader there. And the 20 of Harrison Burton, he is too free as well. Tight in the middle with that car, though, so 2 things to fix. Jamie?
Yep, tight in the middle for the 7 for Justin Allgaier as well. The car hasn't been very bad. They're putting their last set of sticker tires on. Meanwhile, Noah Gragson, I just cannot believe this team is the team that won't give up a 4-tire stop here. Noah said keep it the same. The car is good.
If Noah wins today, it would be fitting that he did it with a wrecked race car, because I feel like they get involved in something every week. And Cody Ware plus 20. It looks like they went fuel only. We'll vet out their strategy in a moment. This is the reason for our 7th caution. Incredible ride for Josh Berry. .28 laps to go for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And you see the field to your left in the pylon. A couple of names up there playing strategy. And here's the reason for caution number 7. No truth to the rumor that after next weekend's race at Bristol, they're going to use the dirt to fill in that hole that Josh Berry created. I mean, that was incredible. A reminder when you're golfing, Blaney, repair your divots, okay?
Yeah, gosh, you hate to see it for that team. Like I said, I've been there. I was there this year at the 500. Grass looks great on the infield, but, when these cars are so low to the ground and you have a big lip like that and it's been raining so much, it just destroys these cars. So, until we get these cars off the ground, I'm a team turf guy. You can't make a great save like that and then get your car torn all to pieces. So I really feel for the Berries, that whole 8 team for sure in junior motorsports.
And this from Bubba Wallace, I'd say one of the last cars you want to see dig in the turf. And it's one of Dale Jr.'s cars, of course. And a tough break there. And there it is. I mean, look at that. So now we get set to go with 28 laps remaining. And, Martin Truex Jr., the big headliner, right? He's led the most laps, won both stages, got the speeding penalty. He's been on the rally. You got Noah Gragson, who has come back from heavy damage. And Justin Allgaier, looking for his first win of the year, has been the guy in control lately. Your thoughts, fellas?
The 9 car surprised me.
Right.
I don't know where he came from. He all of a sudden started coming back towards the front, ran up there past Truex. But Allgaier looked really good. He was starting to stretch his lead out. And if he can hold him off here on this restart and for his tires to build up a little air pressure, I got the 7 car holding on and winning this thing.
Yeah, it was crazy right before, unfortunately, Josh Berry had his issues. I was getting ready to mention, man, we haven't seen junior motorsports cars with this much speed. 7 was in the lead. The 9 was coming. It hadn't been since 2018 when I was driving for them that they'd won on a 1.5 mile track. And Justin looks good. I don't know where that speed came from Noah's car, but he's got it digging around the bottom. He's like below the white line, and it's been impressive to watch. We'll see what he can do.
I'm noticing the sun is setting in turn 1. Does that become a factor on these restarts? And when you're driving down in the corner, getting in your eyes, that become difficult for a driver?
Yeah, it's hard to see. We run into that issue at a few tracks when there's later starts. Sun starts to go down. Entry to 3 at Darlington's a big one. Off of turn 4 at Texas at certain times, and today, that's definitely going to get into the driver's eyes. And there's still 25 laps left, so that sun's just going to get lower and lower, and yeah, that's pretty difficult.
Colby Howard was out of tires driving that 15 for JD Motorsports, so he stays out here. His tires are 19 laps older than the guys around him, so in a sense, even though he's the control car, Allgaier will be the guy in command when we go green. Burton, Haley, Truex, Herbst all up there. It's time to settle it in Atlanta, 26 remaining.
That's honestly the best thing you do if you're Colby Howard. Just don't want to get ran over.
Yeah, just get out of the way. You're out of tires. He did a good job, getting out of the way and letting everybody race for it there. And see, Haley's got a little bit of fight in him here.
Yeah, I mean, this is go time, all right? Like, if you're the 11, you're not going to give the 20 any room. You got to get down in there on his quarter panel and complete this pass.
Man, a handful for Riley Herbst. This is the South Point onboard camera.
The 9 is so fast.
The 9 and the 54, they can't get away from each other.
I am just amazed at how fast that 9 car is.
And he's got clean air right here. I mean, yeah, he's not going to have a run to get around, the 11 here, but he was able to maintain pretty well there, got some clean air.
We were selling on NASCAR Race Hub this week what a great comeback it was for Truex when he won the Cup race in Phoenix after hitting the wall. I would say today's comeback for the 9 would trump that if he can find his way to the front and win this thing. And, back behind him, Austin Cindric is trying to get back in the top 10. A.J. Allmendinger is there. All these drivers that were involved in that crash that we thought would be players today now find themselves either in or near the top 10. Great effort by all these race teams.
That was what Noah needed right there. He had to get clear of the 54 so he get the bottom down here. And now we're going to see if he'll be able to open up a gap, get away from the 54, and go after the guys ahead.
The 54's car doesn't handle as well in traffic, especially later in this race. I'm sure the track's cooled off a little bit. We saw at the beginning of the race, he was motoring through the field like it was nothing. And he did it with ease, through traffic or whatever. And I don't know whether it's maybe the track's rubbering up a different way, it's cooling off. His car doesn't seem to really be as fast. And we can see that with, Haley really giving him trouble, the 9 car, passing him. So I'll be interested to see what Truex can do here on the longer run.
I just wonder, I really felt like he was very fast in 1 and 2 and able to move around a lot. We've seen the sun completely set on it, so there's a big difference in temperature between the 2 corners.
This is what the drivers are seeing into turn one. I would say the track is starting to change, Regan.
Well, Ryan, I don't want to inflate your ego right now, but I think you're absolutely right. It just cooled off about 10 minutes ago, at least 10 to 15 degrees out here. Definitely significantly colder right now than it was a second ago, as we see a pass right there for third place.
I think Martin's ears were burning. He heard us talking about him not being good, or me talking about him not being good at 1 and 2, and he just blew by Noah Gragson moving up.
I think he's got a shot. We're 21 laps to go as we got a great battle. AJ fighting back. And AJ Carr's gotten fast too. He has some right front fender damage, and he's done a great job today. Was a lap down, got his lap back, and he's now trying to pass the one car for 5th.
Well, you heard him say on the radio that he gets angry, and evidently he's driving mad right now, because A.J. Allmendinger has put himself back in the top 5. Comeback is, in fact, the word of the day.
Yeah, he's sawing the wheel. That's for sure. You can see the car wiggling around there, and it's not been an easy day for that team. But I mean, to come back to 5th and have 20 to go, and that's a good comeback, a good recovery for them.
We're talking about how the track is changing. The sun is setting. There are portions of the track that were in the sunshine that are now in the shade. What does that do to dictate your line and the handling of your race car as you manage things late? And Riley Herbst nearly got into Justin Haley, and that's when it opened the door for Annette to come right up the middle, and Allmendinger as well.
Wow, that was crazy. I wonder what led up to that wide exit of the 98, but the one was able to take advantage there. But yeah, I mean, just the shade in 1 and 2 is just the cooler temperatures over there really going to change how it drives there compared to 3 and 4 with all the sun still laying on it. It's a dogfight down here for this line. It is not easy to get to this line, Ryan, when you've got a line of cars in front of you trying to do the same thing.
Yeah, not only is the air affecting you when you have a line of cars in front of you running the same line as you are, and it's, the paint is probably only, 7 inches long, 8 inches wide. So, and you can't see if that car in front of you has his left front and left rear all over the paint. You're kind of guessing, especially if you're half a car length back. You can't see it. So you see a lot of guys just run on the apron, and then it pushes them off the paint. And Justin, it looks like he's struggling right now. He's not as fast as I thought he would be. He looks loose, and like I said, the track temp cools off, and this track can go through many changes, and it's hard to predict that, and they're learning under fire right now.
I was going to say the search is underway to find where your car works with 17 to go, and the advantage over second place Harrison Burton, 0.3 of a second for Allgaier, another 1.2 back to Truex, and when Truex got up to third, he was like a 1.7 back, so he's starting to slice some time off of that advantage. Yeah,
Harrison definitely in the beginning of this race, was right behind Truex for a lot of, the first 2 stages, and I'm sure he learned a lot. It seems like, he's got that rabbit out there in front of him to chase yet again. But, if I'm the spotter on the roof for him, I'm telling him, hey, we got to get by the 7 quick because the 54 is starting to come. He's running faster than both of you.
And I like what Truex is doing. He changed his lineup in 1 and 2. He's still glued to the bottom of 3 and 4, which I think is the fastest way around it. But the 7 and 20 are running the bottom 1 and 2. So as he gets closer, the air gets worse. So he's like, all right, well, I'm going to go where they're not. And he starts moving up the track, and it's really doing well. And I think we got some radio on the Haley car.
We staying up every damn week. The Pete. Yeah, copy that. Raising that track bar, tight out of it.
No, I talk about the change the track goes through. As it cools off, his car swung tight. And those are the tough things as a driver and crew chief trying to figure out and predict what a track's going to do as the temperature change, and that's what makes these midday to night races really difficult.
Yeah, Justin was another one that just had really good speed early on, and it's such a fine line here to hit the balance right as we see the fall off in these tires. So it just gets frustrating, and then when you add to it the track changing, it's really hard to get the cars right and to keep it where it needs to be throughout the entire race.
If Truex can get by Burton, it's going to be a race.
Oh, yeah.
And he's right there. I mean, he's been knocking on the door, and here he goes to the inside.
He's got Harrison.
This is for second. Truex trying to get back to the runner-up spot, and he does. All clear off of 2.
Loose. Harrison's going to come back, cross him over.
Yeah, he's going to have the preferred line in 3 and 4. I thought it was interesting. Harrison gave up the line he'd been running, took Martin's away, and it worked out for him there.
So Truex passed him once, couldn't hang on to it. We'll see if he can get him again, using the high lane off of turn 4. Man, a big wiggle for that 54.
Turn 3 and 4 makes you work for it here at Atlanta if you're anywhere but the L line. And that's impressive to be able to make that work on that end of the racetrack. You're going to see the speed difference he has down here in 1 and 2. Just the shape of the track is just, for some reason, 1 and 2's always been better, Ryan.
Yeah, you know, I feel like it's always had more grip up the racetrack in 1 and 2. Like then in 3 and 4, Truex obviously made the top seam of 3 and 4 work great to get around the 20. As you see, the 7 missed the bottom and really opened it up for Truex. I'll be interested to see if the 7 moves up right here. Truex has been making good ground on the top. And it looks like he's stuck on the bottom and wanting to run there. But if I'm hit 7 spotter, I'm telling him where Truex is running and trying to take as much of his line away as possible.
Yeah, half a second faster that lap. I mean, that just shows you how much missing the line in 3 and 4 really pays a penalty. Your tires are hurt when you do it, and you lose all your momentum. And if you're Martin Truex, you gotta be feeling pretty good about where you're at with the amount of laps you have left. If you're Justin Allgaier, you're trying everything you got left in the tank to just find a little bit more speed.
10 to go, and the advantage is kind of stabilized there at a half a second. And this would be so big for Justin Allgaier. I talked about it earlier, such a rough start to the season. And it was just like they couldn't get out of their own way. Every week it was something different going wrong. Last week they found their rhythm, had a few problems on that last restart, but still finished in the top 10. A win today that would lock them into the playoffs would be enormous as they try to get back to the championship 4. There you see the numbers. 26.5 was the average through 4 races. But he finally got a top 10, and here he is, less than 9 laps away from victory.
And Justin's calmed down a little bit. You know, he's calmed down. He's made sure that he got to the paint. He's done a really good job of, he missed it for a couple laps, and he reset, and he's like, okay, I just got to hook this line. And he's been able to stabilize. Now it's just all going to be about who gets by lap traffic the best.
Yeah, and the 17 is going to get out of the way and let him keep that bottom of 1 and 2, which was going to be really important as Martin is sliding that thing through 1 and 2. But yeah, that was huge for Justin there, being able to keep the line he'd been working so well around in 1 and 2.
I mean, look at Justin all the way. He's below the paint. He was below the paint, just trying to find all the grip. He probably got, if there's bumps there, he bumped them
they
down
suck
there.
You in.
Man, it's just 2 guys going hard right now, man, and 2 different lanes, which is awesome.
What's interesting is Justin had been around the bottom, I feel like, all the day. He's going to move up and take Martin's line away here. But it's when I noticed Noah Gragson was like almost an entire car below the line that I saw Justin start doing it. As this battle is tightening up with this lap traffic that they're trying to get through.
This is as close as he's been in this final run. Truex trying to rally after a speeding penalty and win racing in the Xfinity Series for the first time in almost 11 years. 6 laps to go. Can Allgaier hold him off?
Allgaier back to the bottom. He ran up, and it looked like to get really free, and he went right back down to the bottom. Missed the line a little bit, but he's still hanging pretty good as Gragson's battling with Harrison Burton for 3rd.
These 2 have a history, so it's fun to watch them go at it in the closing laps. I don't know, with the luck that Gragson's had, I might say just back off and bring it home, you know?
It's a tough spot.
5 laps to go. And the other thing to keep in mind, this is a Dash for Cash qualifier, and right now the guys eligible for the bonus at Martinsville would be Allgaier, Harrison Burton, Noah Gragson, and A.J. Allmendinger.
Well, we caught the lapper of Brandon Jones kind of at a bad spot. He committed to the bottom, and he had a pretty much turned right in the middle of the corner, but I don't think it hurt him too bad.
Yeah, Go ahead, Adam. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I was just going to say, and you noticed it too, the lap traffic is everywhere. And with 4 to go, I mean, Ryan, you talked about the spotter giving you the information you need on where Truex is running, but I'm curious if you're Allgaier, how much are you looking out front to pay attention to the lap traffic versus the rear view mirror to see where's Truex going behind me?
Well, you know, if I'm in this spot, I'm just focusing out mainly the front windshield. I might glance in my mirror down the backstretch, right? If I be like, oh, was that a good corner or not? But your spotter's also telling you how far back he is. Like if you pulled him or if he gained a little bit there. So all I'm doing, if I'm Justin Allgaier, is looking at every single lap car in front of me, seeing where they're running, and just planning my move, you know, a corner ahead. That's the best he could do in his situation.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. He's catching these lap cars really quick, and it's really hard to adjust and make moves this far into a tire run. You know, you really got to plan ahead, like Ryan said. You can't just change direction halfway through the corner and cut back across the racetrack. You'll lose all your momentum, and just it's tough when you get this far in. It's very hard for Justin, and it's even harder for Truex because he's trying to run down Allgaier.
2 laps to go, and he just wants now to get back to that white flag so he doesn't have to endure another restart. Justin Allgaier out in front of Martin Truex Jr. The advantage now almost a second as he works through the lap traffic off of turn 4, and he'll see the white flag this time around. 1 lap to go at Atlanta, sponsored by Credit One Bank. His biggest fan, likely his daughter Harper, who's 7 years old. His wife Ashley is expecting their 2nd child. So much excitement in his life personally, but professionally things have not gotten off to a good start in 2021. A victory would erase all of the disappointment. What a day for Justin Allgaier. Not just winning, but beating one of the best all time. Here's Allgaier getting his first win of the year. It comes at Atlanta.
Excellent work. I've wanted to win at this place for a long time, and that was awesome right there. Excellent job. Big crew. Awesome. Eddie, awesome. Man, that was awesome.
A great job by Justin. You know, he got pressured by Truex. When Truex got to 2nd, he was running him down a little bit, and he was missing the line, and he did a great job of calming down, making sure he hooked the line, and he was able to stretch it back out on Truex. So awesome job by Justin Allgaier. He did a fantastic job all day and finished it out, which was a really, really great thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, you know a dirt guy with the background that he does. When you look at tracks like Atlanta, Homestead, the tracks where you really got to work this car hard to get around, it means a lot to guys like Justin Allgaier to finally get that win.
Heck yes. Heck yeah. Oh, Jason, awesome adjustments today, man. Like,
he talked about the adjustments, and I'd say it was a team effort. Really nice job on the box by Jason Burdett. These two have been together a long time, have been to the championship 4, but have never been able to bring home the big trophy. And they could be in position again because this win will put them in the playoffs, and a great day for the team. Junior Motorsports, Allgaier wins it. Gragson is 4th, and a nice day for Michael Annette in 7th.
How about Allmendinger coming home 5th with
Unbelievable.
That? And Gragson with the beat-up race cars, getting them fixed up and doing a good job getting a couple top 5s with it.
Cindric's run of top 5s and top 10s is over. The pole sitter ends up 13th today.
Never had the pleasure of doing a burnout at Atlanta, but I'd say based on how slick it is out there, it's probably one of the easiest places to get the tires to spin.
Career win number 15 for Justin Allgaier. First time he's won here at Atlanta.
You know, that team's had a rough start to the year. You know, they've been in a little bit of trouble. Hasn't gotten the best of finishes, and it's great, you know, to have a decent run last week and then come out here, you know, today and put on a great show. So you hope that team gets turned in the right direction.
Yeah, these are the moments in life and in your career that can be really tough. When you can come out and have a moment like this, it's worth every hardship.
Let's celebrate with him, Jamie Little.
Justin Allgaier got the helmet off. Justin, we talked before this race. It's been a long time coming. It's been a difficult season. You finally got your first top 10 last week. What does this moment mean to you, finally getting one race put together start to finish?
First of all, God is good, man. And this one's for Rowdy. The pit crew, emotional because of Rowdy this year, but you fans are awesome. I told you before the race, it's a beautiful car. To have Exalta and EchoPark on the car, and such a good-looking car. William took it to victory lane, so I had to follow suit. And we didn't start off the day like we wanted to. These guys persevered behind it. They pushed and made great adjustments on pit road. Jason Burdett and all the guys on the team did a great job. My wife and daughter are here, so they may not be able to come out here, but I get to go celebrate with them. Just proud of the effort that we put in today. I can't thank all of our partners enough. Chevrolet, obviously these Camaros are bad fast. And the Hemric Engine Shop, Brant Professional Agriculture, GB, Glenn Brandt's birthday was yesterday, so unfortunately he's no longer with us, but we're celebrating with a checker flag for him. And just helmets, all of our friends at Unilever, just really proud of the effort, man. Martin had a great race car, and they definitely had the car to beat at the beginning, and we made good adjustments, and that's what it came down to at the end.
Justin Allgaier gets it done and wins in Atlanta.
Well, the second place car, Martin Truex Jr. Second place car, Martin Truex Jr. Very strong day for you. Unfortunately, a pit road speed and penalty near the end of this thing. Was that the difference?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. We got back up there, but obviously was kind of out of tires at that point. So got close, and then, the last 10 laps in the right rear was completely smoked off. So just had to use too much to get there. They fighting. But thanks to Stanley and everybody at JGR for letting me do this. And it was fun until I screwed it up. So I hate it for these guys, but just come up a little short at the end there.
All right, glad you had fun, Martin. Thanks for talking with us, and good job keeping your focus during that interview.
The headlines out of this race, they are plentiful. And I won't say that Justin Allgaier goes to second on the list, but Daniel Hemric and Noah Gragson had a disagreement. And if you remember, there was that moment on pit road when they backed into one another. And watch, coming from the left, Hemric comes over during an interview to let Noah understand he's not happy, and Noah's swinging. Wow. The one thing that we have learned in the NASCAR Xfinity Series is that these drivers go at it for every position each and every week. And here's what I was talking about on pit road, guys.
Yeah, we saw that happen, and apparently it bowled over, and Hemric and the 9 weren't too happy about it. So we saw that go on pit road. What about it, Jamie?
Well, Noah Gragson is scrappy in the race car. He's scrappy out of the race car. Noah, this isn't the first time I've had to talk to you after a fight. What exactly happened with you and Daniel?
I don't know why he's mad. I mean, we were behind him coming onto pit road because we caught our right front tire, and then he was in our pit box, and I had to come around him and not really sure why he was there, but had to back up and get there. But a lot of fun. Thank you to Johnny Morris and Bass Pro Shops. I want to thank all the fans for coming out. Congratulations to my teammate Justin Allgaier and Johnny Morris, Rusty Sellers, everybody at Bass Pro Shop, True Timber, Black Rifle Coffee. It's a privilege. This thing's torn up, and we were able to come back and salvage a top 5 finish. So thanks to my guys for working so hard, and yeah, I'd be bad if I was in his shoes too, just based off what he's done in his career. But it is what it is, and we'll move on and keep on fighting. And, man, what a day. Top 5, we'll go celebrate that.
Thanks, Noah.
Thanks.
Just a quick plug. Our next race in a couple of weeks on a short track at Martinsville. I mean, this could get really good between Hemric and Gragson. You guys were outstanding today. Your final thoughts on this race?
Well, definitely an exciting finish. Congrats to Justin Allgaier holding off Truex there at the end. That was definitely something to watch. 2 guys laying it out there and hanging the back of their cars out and trying really hard to win. And thank you guys for having me. Thank you, Fox, for having me. My legs hurt, my back hurts, and I'm going to go sit down on my couch and get ready for a 500-miler tomorrow. So congratulations to the winners today, and thank you guys again for watching.
Yeah, Ryan, a double duty. You probably weren't even thinking it'd be possible, but you've been up here a lot, and it was really fun to come up here and do the Xfinity race. But man, Noah, he was 1 for 1. He, swung and was able to get Harrison, but swung and a miss with Daniel. So don't really know what was said to get Noah worked up. But, yeah, I think Noah's used to if someone's coming up on him, he's ready for a fight, and he was, ready to go. So, yeah, we got Martinsville coming up, and they're already mad at each other on pit road, and it's Atlanta. So,
hey, guys,
next race.
Good luck tomorrow, okay? Have lots of fun. As you said, 500 miles, and here's the fight we're talking about. And more post-race coverage on the way from Atlanta Motor Speedway, where Justin Allgaier is a winner. Car wasn't where he wanted it early, but they got it where it needed to be. He finishes in front of Martin Truex Jr. to get his first win of the campaign. Thanks for watching. The studio has the ball when we return on FS1.